Hey guys, I'm excited to show you today's video, and it is all about how to make your very own homemade vegetable stock. You may have made it before and it wasn't too flavorful, or maybe this is the first time ever making it, but I'm going to show you a super simple way that will extract the most flavor. And the best part is that you're using scraps you would have otherwise thrown away. So today, start to save up those onion scraps, carrots, celery, garlic, herbs, whatever it is you would normally toss in the trash. Throw it in a Ziploc freezer bag, start to save it up, and I'm going to show you just how to do it right now. Okay guys, so you're going to want to grab a baking sheet, and if you have one of these silicone mats, they are awesome, super handy in this case. If not, just grab some parchment paper, and then you're going to want to grab your bag from the freezer of your scraps that you've been saving. This one I've been saving for the last couple weeks, and I've got in here I've got celery, I've got the skin and the end pieces of onions, I've got some shavings from carrots, some herbs, all that good stuff. This all is going to break down nicely and add so much flavor to our vegetable stock. But definitely whatever veggies you've got, mushrooms, root vegetables, zucchini, whatever it is. I also have some fresh herbs I just showed you, and they're on their way out, so I'm going to go ahead and add those to this as well, because it's just going to add some additional flavor. And I certainly don't like to waste anything. So this is a perfect use for it. So I've got some thyme, oregano, I also have some rosemary and some parsley that I'm going to add to it. If I haven't mentioned already, you want to go ahead and preheat your oven to about 425 degrees, and that's where we'll be roasting at for about 25 to 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and take this over to the oven. Don't forget to set your timer, and we'll see what it looks like when we're done. If you have a middle rack, I suggest putting it in the middle rack, but either way, there's really no wrong way to do it. You just want these suckers to get nice, roasted, and smelling delicious. So after about 25 to 30 minutes, this is what it should look like. It's okay if it looks like there's some burnt pieces, especially the onion skins. That's just gonna add a little bit of some color and some extra flavor to our stock. So I have my well-seasoned large stock pot here I use for just about everything, especially when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I'm just going to take all of my scraps, my roasted scraps, and stick those in the bottom of the stock pot. And then to that, we are just going to add our water directly to that. So because I had quite a bit of scraps and this is a large pot, I'm adding about 16 to 20 cups of water. And that's about, it doesn't reduce too much, so that's about what you're going to get as far as your vegetable stock. So if you want something a little bit more concentrated, you certainly could use less water, but this I find is what works best for me. So I'm going to finish adding that water in, and then I'm going to add in some white miso paste. If you have never tried this, I highly recommend it. It really, really adds some wonderful flavor to your veggie stock. If you can't get it, or you just never used it before and you don't have it around, you can certainly use salt in place of that. But I added about 2 tablespoons. I let it come to a boil, so make sure you get it nice and bubbly. Let it come to a good boil, and then I just stir it to make sure everything's incorporated with the paste and or salt that you're adding. And then I'm just going to turn it down to between a low and a simmer for about an hour. If you've got all the time in the world, let this sucker simmer for hours, and again, it's just going to add to the flavor. It'll reduce a little bit more, and you'll have a delicious, delicious stock. But after about 60 minutes, I just grabbed an extra bowl and then my tongs, and I'm just gonna fish out the really big pieces of the veggies out of there. That's just gonna make it a lot easier for me when I bring it over to the sink to pour into my individual containers, and I'll show you how I do that in just a second. But this stuff is amazing. I mean, seriously, I'm actually surprised sometimes how fast I go through it, but I love using this vegetable stock as a base for soups. I use it when I cook rice or quinoa. Sometimes even I'll add it to my beans. And I certainly, freeze it when I make super big batches. That way it's convenient and easy. I always have it on hand. So here I'm just using my plastic containers that I'm going to be freezing it in or storing it in with a small little strainer on top. Be careful if you do plan on freezing it. Make sure you leave room at the top for the expansion of the liquid. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and stay tuned for all things plant-based that's going to be simple, easy, and delicious.